Care partners, welcome back. Are you new to dementia caregiving and constantly wondering if you're doing it right? Well, today we are going to dive into the top 5 mistakes that most care partners make, so you're in good company. And trust me, avoiding these mistakes early on is going to help your loved one feel more supported and you feel more calm and empowered. Hi, I'm Dr. Sinclair, neuropsychologist and dementia care specialist. I know firsthand how easy it is for a new dementia care partner to fall into these common traps. I have worked with countless families, and 99.9999% of the patients and families that I've worked with have fallen into these common traps, these pitfalls. By knowing what not to do, you will feel more confident and more connected in your loved one's care. So by the end of this video, you will have 5 clear don'ts. Just don't do them. As well, care partners, as what to do instead to bring more calm and peace to your journey. So let's jump right on in. The first mistake I see many new care partners make all the time is correcting their loved ones. Arguing or correcting their loved ones, pretty much the same thing. It's important to recognize, care partners, that dementia changes the way that your loved one perceives reality, the way that they see reality, and it also changes their ability to make decisions. There are a lot of people who think that dementia is only a memory disorder, which is not. For many of the 400 types of dementias out there, memory isn't impacted. So it's not solely a memory issue. Dementia is changing the way that your loved one is perceiving reality, and it's also changing their ability to make decisions. So when you're asking your loved one to make a safe decision or a smart choice, their brain is likely no longer able to do that effectively. I'd like for you to think of the dementia mind like a time machine, but a time machine that's malfunctioning. So sometimes your loved one with dementia is here in present reality, and then other times they're back in the past. They're off in space where time makes no sense. Okay, so your loved one is always fluctuating between being here in reality sometimes, being back when they were 30 years old, or sometimes just out in space and not really making any sense whatsoever. For example, they'll say that they have to go pick you up from daycare. Your loved one's mind has transported them to a different chapter in their life. Arguing with your loved one or correcting them is like trying to convince someone who's already stepped through the time machine that everything they're saying is not real. They're not going to believe you. They're going to believe what their brain is telling them. So instead of pulling them back out of the time machine, you want to align with your loved one's reality. You want to validate what their experience is and gently guide them back. If your loved one is talking about picking you up from daycare, you can probably bring up a story that you remember on your way home from school with your loved one day. And then you can segue into what you guys have planned ahead for today. That's a way to join them. You're validating with a story that you remember that's accurate, and then you're gently guiding them into today's schedule. Another common error that many care partners make, especially in the beginning, is asking their loved ones, "Oh, Mom, don't you remember when I said?" "Oh, yes, remember we're doing." Unfortunately, if you're needing to remind your loved one quite often, then they don't remember. And this is a way that care partners are so used to engaging with their loved ones when their loved ones did not have dementia. If your loved one forgot something, you would say, "Oh yeah, remember we're going to go at 5 p.m. It was so part of the conversation, you didn't mean anything by it. But now, as you make that statement and there's a diagnosis of dementia, your loved one can be unintentionally hurt by you pointing out the fact that they're no longer remembering. Okay, your loved one with dementia may recognize that they have memory lapses, but they don't realize when it's happening. Oftentimes, as they're forgetting something, they don't realize that they are forgetting the thing. So that's why they're asking you again. And when you say, "Yeah, don't you remember?" it can be really hurtful because they're already trying to navigate this confusion that's happening for them. So the remedy that I often give to my new care partners is to repeat the statement again. Or if your loved one is coming to you with repeated questions, the same question over and over again, then maybe having some alternate reminder. So if you have a Google device or an Apple device or a watch that your loved one can wear on their wrist, something that alerts them to what they would have come to you looking for the answer for. Or you can have a post-it note or a whiteboard. That's a visual reminder, something that they can see that will cue their memory instead of always coming to you. But as much as possible, care partners, try to avoid saying, oh yeah, remember I just told you. I do want to normalize this because it is so part of our language to speak that way. Don't kick yourself about making this mistake. Catch when you make it and then practice not doing that. Okay, there's no self-flagellation here. You're not going to be perfect, but you now know what to avoid. And so catch yourself when you make those, oh, I did it again, I gotta work on that. And then just do better next time. Another common error that new care partners make is that they overwhelm their loved one with dementia with too many questions or too many choices. And again, care partner, as with our previous example, this is because you are used to having more complex conversations with your loved one with dementia before they were diagnosed, before dementia. But now that they have this diagnosis, it's important for you to recognize that overwhelming your loved one with too many choices or too many questions is doing just that. It's overwhelming. Their brain, by virtue of having dementia, is moving slower than it typically does. Their brain, as I shared with you, is not making decisions appropriately. Their brain is struggling to even pull words from the memory bank to have an appropriate conversation. So their brain is working in overdrive when your loved one has dementia, whether it's mild cognitive impairment all the way to the severe end of dementia. So it's important for you not to add on to the overwhelm with complex questions or complex choices. Dementia just makes it too difficult to process all of that at once. An example that I always give to my clients that they love, and so you will likely find it helpful as well, is I'd like for you to imagine as navigating a maze that's surrounded in thick fog. So as if it wasn't bad enough to be in a maze when you're confused, there's also thick fog. You're on the other end of this maze and you have the directions you're going to give it to your loved one for them to be successful. If you rattle off the directions too quickly, your loved one is going to become overwhelmed, even more confused, disoriented. They're probably just even going to give up, right? They're just going to freeze. It's too overwhelming. But if you can take a deep breath for yourself and slow it down for your loved one, they're going to have more success. So instead of rattling off instructions, go right, turn left, go right, turn left, straight, maybe slow down a bit. Deep breath. Take 2 steps forward. Pause, turn left. Take 3 steps forward. Pause, turn right. Take 5 steps forward. Do you see, care partners, when you break it down slowly like that and in a step-by-step directive, you are giving your loved one a better chance at being successful. So instead of overwhelming your loved one with a lot of choices and questions, what would you like for lunch? Soup, salad, pasta, sandwich, cookies? Offer 2 choices, care partners. Don't overwhelm. 2 choices. Would you like soup or pasta for lunch today? Before I move on to the next error that I see most care partners make, if this is helpful and resonating for you guys, then please let me know. Either commenting below or hitting the subscribe button would be awesome. It allows the content to go out to more people. It builds our community here. And as you're commenting, please let me know what in particular is helpful for you. Is it the education that you're getting? Is it the way that I'm explaining things? My goal here is to take really complex ideas and I want to break it down in a way that you're going to walk away truly understanding what's happening for your loved one with dementia. Okay, so if that resonates with you, then go ahead and comment and let me know so that you can keep making more content. The next common mistake is that care partners tend to speak too quickly or too loudly. So care partners often make this mistake as well. They speak too quickly for their loved one with dementia and they're also speaking too loudly. So again, as the foggy maze metaphor that I shared with you, I want for you to realize that your loved one's processing speed, how quickly they are processing what you're saying to them, that slows down. It's not only processing speed for what's being said, it's processing speed, period. The way that their brain is perceiving the environment is slowing down considerably for your loved one. It may not look like that on the outside, but it is. And you don't want to speak too quickly, and you don't want to speak too loudly. That can also create anxiety. So unless your loved one with dementia truly has hearing issues, then you want to keep your same level, calm level voice. And again, you want to give their brains a chance to catch up with you. So you say a couple of words, you pause. You say a couple of more words, you pause. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Again, a couple more words. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Again, a couple more words. You want to allow your loved one's brains to stay with you. And because their brain is going slower, you will have to go slower. As a care partner, one of the biggest transformations that's going to happen with you is you are going to become more patient, because you're going to be forced to be more patient, because your loved one will not be able to keep up with you otherwise. Another error that's commonly made, care partners, and I want to say this with as much empathy as possible, because it's hard not to do this. So this error that I often see care partners make is they take things too personally. You are human. It is going to hurt when you are trying to help your loved one with dementia and they are resisting, refusing your care. They are accusing you of horrific things and telling other family members about it, or they are cursing at you using all sorts of colorful language that you've never heard your loved one use before. It is going to hurt. It's hard not to take any of that personally. But in the same way that a runny nose and a sneeze is a symptom of a cold, refusals, accusations, colorful language hurled toward you, those are also symptoms of dementia. And so when your loved one engages in that way, if you can remind yourself of that, this is the dementia, not my loved one. This is the symptom, not my loved one. And that doesn't mean that you ignore it. You have to have ice running through your veins to ignore it. What that means, care partners, is that you're going to have to get the support from elsewhere. Because when your loved one curses at you for trying to help them, or your dad makes a pass at you because he doesn't realize that you're his daughter, those are going to hurt. You need to process that with someone. And so you can find a therapist, a psychologist to help you work through these issues. You can find a support group. We even have a collective. I'll put the link down below where you can join our collective. You can talk about this experience and you can gain additional skills and strategies with other care partners who just get it. Okay, so when you can find your support system, care partners, you'll be able to process all of what your loved one is dumping onto you. And finally, care partners, you will need to learn how to communicate with your loved one with dementia when they're engaging in those behaviors. And so I'd like for you to go ahead, and also linked below is a communication training for newbies just like you. So for those of you who prefer workbooks, I'll go ahead and link below. Watch that training, do the workbook, learn the skills that you need to navigate these difficult situations. I will see you in the next one.